Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to episode 82 of the More in You podcast. My name is Olabode, as you've heard, and as always, I come on this podcast to stir you up to birth the greatness you have on the inside of you. I'm so excited today. Today, I'm talking about, let me say, two of my favorite things to talk about. Kind of a lot of things are my favorite things to talk about, but two of my favorite things to talk about because they've really helped me. I think those two things have really helped me in my journey of growth, and so I often talk about them, especially at this time of the year. So I'm giving you a clue of what I'm talking about today. How are you doing? How is your day going? I hope it's going awesome. So I was kind of just as I got ready to create my vision board for this year. For those that don't know what a vision board is, I'm going to mention it. A vision board is like a board that helps you to create the future that you imagine. So I was kind of just looking around, looking at my vision boards from past years, and it was interesting because some of them I was looking at, I was like, oh wow, this has happened, that has happened, is been such a blessing to me. And then I have a vision board I picked up. It's my 5 years from now vision board that I created in the year 2021. Yes, it was, because it's 2021. I actually have it here. You won't be able to see it, but you would see it says vision 5 years from now, 2021 to 2026. They're the things I'm trusting God to be able to do in that 5-year period. Some of them I'm already doing, some of them I haven't even stepped into yet. And as I began to just look at it and just ponder and just chew on it, and how some of it God has added to the assignment, added some of the things that I've written on there, I said, what is going to be more awesome than sharing 7 benefits of goal setting and 7 benefits of creating a vision board. For some of us, if you're here, you don't know what a vision board is, I'm going to explain. Like I kind of mentioned it, but I'm going to come to that. But I'm going to start off with 7 benefits of goal setting. Sometimes people ask that question: why do I need to set goals? What is so important? Some people have this idea about having New Year resolutions. I'm not totally against it, but for me, I don't set New Year resolutions, just because I remember even growing up, I used to see a lot of people have New Year resolutions, but even before the second week in January, they can't even remember what the New Year resolution was. So I remember even growing up, I was like, no, what's the use of having someone who say, oh, I'm going to lose weight this year, oh, I'm going to do this, if you ask them in the second week, they don't even remember what they said they were going to do. But I find goals are completely different. I had a webinar last week. If you missed it, I'll put the link in the description for those watching on YouTube. And I'm going to pause for a minute. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, you're listening to me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or any other podcast platform, I have a video podcast of this very episode. And every episode I record on my YouTube channel, Olabode, the Purpose Midwife. So if you would just go over to, my channel, you'll be able to see, I'm sure you'll be able to see tips, tools that can help you discover your purpose, develop it, deploy your purpose and your potentials. You will find a lot on my channel. So I want to encourage you, and while you're there, please subscribe. Why do we often encourage you to subscribe? Just because number one, it encourages us to keep producing content, to keep putting our content. It's not like if you don't subscribe, I'm not going to put out content. I already do that. But it just kind of encourages me to say, you know what? People are actually benefiting from what you're sharing. And if you watch on YouTube, please leave a comment, leave a like. Let's know that you actually were on the channel. I wanted to pause to do that. I don't do that so often. So back to what I was talking about, 7 benefits of goal setting. So I find that goal setting is so different from setting New Year resolutions, in that when you set goals come from the vision of what God shows you that He wants to do in your life. So it comes from the vision of what He wants to show you, of things He wants to help, He wants to show you what to do. But then the goals is, or one of my mentors says, she says this way, that your goals are your dreams with a deadline. So there are dreams that God has dropped in your heart. There are things He's asking you to do that you're thinking, I don't know how to do it. But guess what? When you set those goals, it's you putting those action plans. Goals are the things you're going to be committed to doing, or the things, the action steps you're going to take to ensure that what you see in that vision becomes a reality. They come in forms of goals. So when I talk about goal setting, I want to just share the 7 benefits, because for me, I learned that don't just have resolution, set goals, because goals help you to grow. And I think I really should start with that. Goals help you to grow. When you set goals, it helps you to know what area you're going to grow up in. It helps you to know what area you're going to plan to grow in. It helps you to say, okay, this is the area I'm going to concentrate on. It helps you to know what area you're going to focus on. It helps you to just see it in, just say, okay, you know what, I'm going to zone in on this area, and I'm going to, okay, maybe this year I'm really going to be big on my spiritual life. What are the things that are going to help me to grow? What are the goals I want to set spiritually to ensure that I grow? So when you have goals, I always say, even under the goals that you set, always put action steps as well, which means the things that you're going to be committed to doing under each of your goals. I have this thing I think I was sharing with people in my inner circle. I said, when you write the goals, now have a page where you say, I have 20 things I'm going to do regarding this goal. You might not have 20 things, but you know what I found out? One of my coaches shared that what you find out is that it helps you to be creative about how you can bring those goals past. So there is no way you will not grow if you have your goals written down. And truly, one great thing about goal setting is that goals are, you saying, this is where I want to go this year. You've seen it in the vision. Now I'm going to create the map. So your goals help you. That's at number 2. Your goals help you to create the map to take you where you're going to go. It helps you to create the pathway. It helps to lead you, so that way, if you find out that you're going on a different path, it's almost like the GPS. Vision shows you the big picture, but then your goals now begin to say, okay, this is the trail we're going to go on. We're not going to go this way. It's phenomenal when you set goals. They help to just, number 3, give you clarity. So goals help to give you clarity in decision making. What do I mean by this? There might be things that you want to do this year that you think, you want to do them maybe at the spur of the moment. But then when you pause to say, is this really something I need to be concentrating on this year? Is this something I need to be, is this something I should be doing? You look back and you say, what was the vision that God gave me for this year? What are the things I said I'm going to do? Now, guess what? That means all these things I'm going to wait against what the vision is. So if it's not even in the vision, that means you won't even have goals for that particular thing that you wanted to do. And so what am I saying? So it helps to give you better clarity in decision making. It helps you to take better decisions, so that when you have those goals, it's just helping you, it's leading you. I can't even overemphasize this. This has helped me in so many, in years past, in so many ways. It's still helping me right now, because every year once I get the vision, this is what we're going to do. These are the things I'm going to do. I remember before the end of the year, this is the word for the year. This is what I'm going to do. Now I say, okay, Lord, what goals are we going to set? What am I going to commit myself to? What are what are the ways that we're going to bring this to pass? All those things that I have written down. And so it gives that clarity. Number 4 is goals provide motivation. Goals motivate you. Your goals act as a huge motivator. Let me give you an example. Maybe you say you're going to save $5,000 in 2023, and you've already split it up into $5,000, which means that in quarter 1, you know exactly how much you need to save. In quarter 2, you know how much exactly you need to save, but you're going to split the 5,000, for example, into 4 places. So at the end of every quarter, you must have saved that particular amount, or else you might not save the whole of that. So you want to just plan to save it. So guess what? Where the motivation comes in is that, okay, maybe quarter 1, you've been able to save that amount excitedly. Maybe quarter 2, you're kind of feeling like, do I really need to be saving this money? Like, what's the big deal? why am I wasting my time? Why am I saving money? Why do I need to be doing this? Why do I need to be saving? You're thinking, I really don't want to be saving money. Guess what? When you look back and you say, okay, you go back to your why am I even saving the money? And you see how much you saved. You know what happens to you? You get excited. You're like, yes, you know what? I can do this. Look at how much I'm able to save in Q1. If I can just push myself, I see the goal. The goal is $5,000. If I can push myself, what can I do with that $5,000? What am I planning to do? So you see, it provides motivation. It helps you to see the end in view. It's so powerful. It helps you to see the end in view. Number 5 is it gives you a sense of personal satisfaction. There's something that goals do to you. It gives you this, it keeps your adrenaline moving when you actually tick it off. One of my mentors will say, when you tick it off, there's something that happens to you. So just looking and say, okay, I set these 10 goals. I trusted God to do these 10 things. I've been able to do. I'm excited. Guess what? I know I can do the remaining 5. I'm going to plug myself into it. I'm going to get this other 5 done. It gives you, it keeps your adrenaline moving. It gets you excited. So that is so important as well. And number 6, or let me say that, yes, number 6 I want to share is it gives you a sense of purpose in life. So setting goals, you might say, oh, how? Because like I mentioned earlier, it helps you to see where you're going. It helps you to look at, this is where I'm going. I see where I'm going, and I'm planning for where I'm going. So it gives you that sense of purpose, because as you're setting the goals, you're saying, Lord, help me to align everything I'm doing must be aligned to your purpose for me. I don't want to do anything that's outside your will. And so often the vision, when he gives you vision, the vision he gives you is aligned with that purpose. And so your goals will help to align. And if it's not aligned, it helps you to also see what is lacking when you look at those goals that you have set. It's such a game changer. Number 7 is it gives you control of your future. Goal setting gives you control of your future. How? Because you're not just living your life in the hands of, like that thing they say, que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. I'm not just living my life like every day, whatever happens to me today. No, you are choosing. I'm going to take action. I'm going to be intentional. Goal setting helps you to be intentional about what you want to do. It just helps you get up and get the motivation. It helps you to get moving. It helps you to take action. It helps you to just say, yes, I'm going to do this. And remember I said to you, the first thing I mentioned was goal setting helps you to grow. So when you see that your goals are leading you towards growth, guess what? You want to ensure you meet it, because as you're achieving those goals, you are making progress. You're making progress, and as you see the progress, you get more excited. You're able to see the future. Okay, you know what? Like I mentioned with the $5,000, I've saved $2,000. I have $3,000 to go. If I can just save this $3,000, I'm going to get to that goal. And when you get to that goal, now you've grown. You've been able to save $5,000. Now you're going to say, what is going to be the next thing I want to do? It gets you excited. So it helps you to see your future. And it kind of, goal setting in a way gives you a bonus. I want to give you number 8. It gives you direction and a destination. It helps you, it directs you, it leads. I mentioned the map. It helps you to, it kind of gives you that direction of, I'm going in the right path, unlike when you don't write it down. And so I want to mention to us, if you even have goals and you have not written them down, please write them down. Another thing I want to mention is, if your goals are not leading you towards growth, you might want to review them, because if your goals are not growth goals, then you might not be growing. You could be hitting a target, but you may not be growing. So it's not important. It's not enough to just hit a target. It's more important to ensure your goals are causing you to grow. And so I often emphasize, set growth goals. Set goals that are going to challenge you. Set goals that are going to take you out of the box. Set goals that are going to stretch you. Goals that are going to take you to the next level. In my inner circle, I was sharing with them last week, Saturday, I was saying to them, that the inner circle was a place of stretching. It's a place where you come and you're like, I feel like I can't do this, but you can do it, because you know that God has enabled you and God has equipped you. So you set growth goals that are going to stretch you. And if you want to find out more about goal setting and all of that, I have a video that I did, which is actualizing 2022. Actualizing 2023, the webinar I did last week, and you can watch that. That will give you, more clarity on that. Let's go to the second thing. As I mentioned, 7 benefits of goal setting and 7 benefits of a vision board. So yes, so someone that said, I don't really know what a vision board looks like. I showed you my 5 years from now. This is what a vision board looks like. Something like this, really simple. You have, and I always say, I love vision boards because you can put your quotes in there. You can get images. So what a vision board simply is that you get whatever God is showing you. Whenever I mentioned last week, I think it was in last week's podcast, I was saying, when God says to you, or when somebody says to you, a red dress, you don't see R-E-D, you see a visual red dress. If someone says to you, a blue car, you don't see B-L-U-E, you see a visual blue car. So vision helps you to see where you're going. So when you catch the vision, when you get the vision from God, what are you asking me to do? One of the big ways to help you to bring that vision to life is to get images that would line up with that which you see, and then you put it before your eyes. I shared this in last week's webinar. So you have a vision on here. Okay, God has said to me, let me see one of the ones on here. I mentioned the one about saving. I have some money right here. You can see this was one of the ones that I use in my keynote talks when I go speak about vision boards. So you see, I have some money here. So get images, for example, of money, so that when you look at it, you visualize saving that $5,000. Maybe I remember this was on my vision board for years. It was a dream I had in my heart. You might not see very well, but it was one that spoke about me speaking on conferences, to be a speaker known all over the world. At the time, nobody knew me, nobody knew my name, but I remember I would put it on my vision board as a dream. So on your vision board, you can have bigger dreams that you don't have the deadline, but you're trusting God for them to happen. And then you have your goals for the year. So you can put your dreams round about your goals. So you have this when you're laying your hands. And I said in my webinar last week that one of the things that this vision boards help you to do is that it helps you to speak over them. Every day you look at them, you put it before you where you can see it. It helps you to speak over them every time you see it. It helps you to believe them. The more you see them, the more you believe them. The more you see a vision board, the more you believe it. The more you see it, the more your dreams come alive. It's just so powerful, and that is why it's called a vision board. It's a vision board, a board that you see. It's a board that you put beside. So I always tell people, don't put it where naysayers are going to see it. Don't put it in your living room, for example, where someone is going to come into your house and they're going to say, what do you have here? Who says you're going to be able to achieve this? No. You can leave it in your bedroom, beside your bed, where you wake up in the morning, you see it. You can speak over it. You can lay your hands on it. You can decree over it. And then I find that every time you look at it as well, you strategize to bring it to pass. You can do that. You just know, I'm going to do this. I remember one of the dreams that I had in my heart for the longest time was, I want to be an established author. And at the time, I hadn't even started writing books per se. I had not started the writer's book camp. I had not started anything like that. But I just had it as a dream. And I remember I was on one of my vision boards. But I remember I would speak over it. I would decree over it. I would lay my hands. I would strategize. And I started with baby steps to lead me in that direction. But today, when I look back, I'm like, wow, look at what God has done. I've started to speak. I've started to write. The things that I actually wrote out, I'm starting to see them come to light. Why? Because every time I looked at them, at first they might look like they're not going to come to pass, but the more I looked at them, the more I believed them. For example, on my vision board, I often write quotes. Here I wrote, up here I have, if you can dream it, you can do it. Or Disney. I have here Proverbs 16:3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. So I often have Bible verses, and then I have quotes on there. I have here, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, Philippians 4:13. I have here, too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. This is a quote by Les Brown. I have here, you have to dream before your dreams can come true. So put on your vision board. You decide what you're going to put on it. You decide what you're going to put in it. Decorate it the way you want to, but let it begin to speak to you. Let it begin to speak to you. Let it begin to speak to you. That takes me to number 2 is it grows your desire. So let me see the 7 benefits. I think I mentioned here. It wakes up your imagination. It wakes up your imagination. The more you see it, the more you believe it. Number 2, I might have shared another one, but it's all good. Number 2, I'm going to put, it grows your desire. It causes your desire to grow. Every time I look at it, you get excited. It's growing your desire. You're excited. You're like, yes, I can do this. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I may not know how to do it, but I believe I can do it. I know I can do this. Another benefit number 3 is it boosts your self-confidence. You get excited because you guess what? As you put it up there, as you begin to get ideas of what to do, you begin to think, yes, I can do this. I might not know how, yes, but I can start from where I am. I can start with what I have. And as I begin to start with what I have, God is gonna give me more. I'm gonna be able to do more. It makes your visions come alive in a way that I can't even explain until you actually take action on this. Number 4 is it motivates you to want to do more. You know, every year when I look at my vision board and I see the dreams, I was looking at vision board from 2018, 2019, 2017, 2020, and I'm like, Lord, thank you, because a lot of those things they've come to pass. I remember some of them, I tick them off, and I'm like, thank you, Lord, they've come to pass. Some of the dreams I had have not come to pass, but like on my 5-year from now vision board, as I began to look, I'm like, oh, these are some of the ones I have to really work on this year. My 5 years from now, these are some of the ones I really have to work on. These are some of the ones that I don't know how it's going to come to pass yet, but I know that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So some of you might have to start that. You might have to design your vision board 5 years from now. You might have to. It shows you where you want to be in 5 years time. For some of you might just want to stick with your 1 year and put your dreams on there, and then add your 10 goals that you set for the year. Let's go to number 5. It helps you to focus on what is important. Just like I mentioned with goal setting, it helps you to focus on what is important. Vision boards help you to focus because you are seeing it. When what you continually see will eventually show up in your life. I always say that you cannot see. If you cannot see it, you cannot seize it. When you see it, like when you visualize it, you can walk towards it. You can strategize towards it. You can pray towards it. You can take action towards it. And eventually, guess what? It will show up in your life. The word of God says, with God, all things are possible. If you see it, the more you see it, the more you believe it. As a man thinks in his heart, so is it. The more you think on something, the more you ponder, the more you meditate upon it. Is like what the word calls the law of attraction. You are drawing it towards you because you are thinking about it, you are pondering about it. You begin to see opportunities to make it happen. Eventually, guess what? You see show up in your life. And I think this will be number 5. Or let me say number. I'll repeat this if I've said it before. It helps you to focus on what is most important. Number 6, it helps you to clarify what your goals are. It helps you to clarify. So maybe you don't even really remember what those goals are. You might not remember from the start, but the more you look at them, when you vision them, the more you look at them, the more you clarify it. The more you get ideas towards it, the more you clarifies it. The more it clarifies it, And then number 7, it helps you to imagine that future. It helps you to birth that future. It helps you to bring that future to life. It helps you to see that future come alive. It helps you to believe that future is possible. It helps you to imagine that future. I remember, and I've shared this story a couple of times about when Disney World was being, when they were opening up Disney World, and one of the people asked Mrs. Walt Disney, and said, "Oh, how do you think Mr. Walt would have felt right now if he had seen this place?" And she said to them, he actually saw it. And they were kind of puzzled, and they said, yes, he saw it in his imagination, because you have to force it in your imagination before it begins to happen in reality. If you cannot see it, trust me, you cannot seize it. If you cannot see it, you cannot have it in your hands. If you cannot see it, you cannot walk towards it. If you cannot see it, you cannot believe it. And so you must work on seeing it first in your mind. Seeing it in your mind talks about visualization. I mentioned this in the Actualizing 2023. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, remember it's going to be in the description. You'll be able to watch that. You'll be able to see that. It's just so powerful. Visualization is so powerful. And then I find, just like the word of God says, the more what you visualize, you begin to meditate on. Just like the word of God says, the book of the Lord shall not depart out of your mouth, For thou shalt meditate upon it day and night. For then thou shalt observe to do all that is written therein, and then thou shalt have good success. You know what happens? It's a process. You visualize it. That shall not depart out of your eyes. You put it before you, visualize, you put it before your eyes. Like I mentioned with the vision board, put it before your eyes. Guess what now begins to happen? You begin to meditate upon it. So as you're visualizing, you meditate upon it. Then as you begin to meditate upon it, guess what now happens? It's like a human thing. It's psychology. Whatever you think about, you bring about. One of my methods. So as you are visualizing it, you are meditate upon it, and it sits in your subconscious. Even when you are sleeping, it begins to speak to you. It begins to speak back to you. Ideas about it begin to come to you, and as you visualize it, you meditate upon it, you will find yourself begin to develop action steps towards it. And as you begin to take action steps towards it, guess what's going to happen? Success is going to be the product of that. So somebody try that out, and trust me, at the end of this year, you'll come back with a testimonial. Say, truly, I tried that out, and it actually worked for me. And I have a free download that I want to share with you. I want to share those 7 benefits of goal setting. I want to share the 7 benefits of a vision board. You can put it as a, you can just have it somewhere on your, you can use it as a screensaver. You can put it somewhere that you can see to remind you of why you need to set goals, to remind you of why you need to have a vision board, to just remind you of how it's going to help you to grow. And I'm going to share it in the description box. If you are listening to the Apple podcast, I will share the link as well to you. If you're listening to the podcast or you're watching it, you'll be able to see the link so that you can download that free resource. I'm so excited. Guess what? It's going to be a phenomenal year. It's going to be a wonderful year, but you and I are going to have to rise up and begin to take action on the dreams and the goals and the purpose that God has put in our heart. We must take action if we want to see results. I'll see you next week.